Good morning, St. Francis. It is Tuesday, March the 16th, 2021, Tuesday of the fourth week of Lent. It is the 24th day of Lent. Coming to you this morning from the interior of our church. It is a rainy, cold Carolina morning, so came inside today. This week is also, forgot to mention this yesterday, this week is also the week in which the two Father Steves and myself began these things that have now kind of grown into their own with just me. That week, I think we were filming from the Friary Chapel, which is now my storage closet. But we were there, and then sometimes we would come over here to the church to be able to do that. But it was around this week that we tried to keep some semblance of the daily round of at least lectionary readings as we moved through the rest of Lent last year into Easter and then into beyond. So it has been 1 year, since we began all of this, since all this began, and hopefully we are moving towards the other side of everything that we experienced in this past year. Healing is what is important, and in today's first reading from Ezekiel and the second reading in the Gospel from John, that is what we get: healing. In Ezekiel, it is the great river that runs through the temple that waters all the lands, bringing physical healing as well as food that is good to eat and abundant and always in blossom. It is God who does this and shows Ezekiel that basically Judaism, the temple, will be a watering place for all life to grow and to become what it is meant to become in God's plan. In John's Gospel, we hear the healing of the man who was lame, who could not get to the pool of Siloam in time enough for the angel to touch it and the waters to be moved so that he could be healed. And all of a sudden, he is healed by Jesus and told to take up his mat and walk. Much like other people in the other Gospels are told by Jesus to take up their mat and walk. The problem is that the Pharisees see this, and the Pharisees object to Jesus first healing on the Sabbath and then the man picking up his mat and walking. They do not see the miracle. They do not see the life that Jesus has given. They do not see how Jesus has brought back together what has fallen apart. All they see is the law. And that becomes their undoing. And they begin to plot against Jesus. And here, the scripture readings will take a bit of a turn as we hear more and more from John's Gospel these next couple of days towards the end of Lent, where the animosity begins to grow between Jesus and Jewish leadership, because he is not doing what they think should be done. He is not doing how they think God should act, or in their small-mindedness, how God should act. In many ways, again, we always have to be cautious of not letting our own narrowness of mind and heart get in the way of what God is able to do. In many ways, sometimes our own leadership within our church today can be very pharisaical and can do and act in many ways which bring hurt and which bring pain to many people's lives, all in the name of following through with the law. The reality is, God continues to work, even if leadership refuses to acknowledge it, even if leadership wants to stop it, even if leadership gets in the way of it. God continues to work. And that has to always be our focus, always and ever. This Lent, we need to be more and more aware of the way in which God has been working in the midst of all kinds of leadership that has been all over the place in our lives. That God does not let our own human weakness and our own human short-sightedness get in the way of what God intends and plans to do. We must be attentive to that and not be led to despair or distraction or delusionment, because basically what we thought should be leading us is not leading us in the way it ought. God works in those ways that only those who dare to believe can see and can hear. May the Lord give you peace.